Hey, I'm Kev Kim. Welcome back to MotoGP 21, where there's been a big update released today. We finally have updated bike models and liveries from MotoGP cars. We finally got the rider of these faces for Moto2 and Moto3, and there's been upgrades as well to career mode, which I'll show you later, and more importantly, to our opponents, apparently. So we'll see if they're good. Perhaps one of the biggest ones as well, just from a game usability standpoint, though, is look at this. We've got camera customization. So let me just move myself, and then you should be able to see what we can change here. So this is close third person, which I use. So as you can see, you've got wider field of view. You can have. This is almost like the earlier MotoGP games from Milestone, having it like this. Bit of a wider field of view, and while being quite close in. As you can see, you can pull the camera in a bit, or you can push it back a bit as well. We can view this as well without that, and I don't know why we have the grid. I guess grid is actually meant to help you dial yourself. Like, oh, you can imagine just staring at that corner in front. Does that look good to you riding? Yeah, we won't change anything for this race, but I would definitely have a mess around after this video. You can change the height as well, so if you want to look a bit more ahead, or you want to just, I don't know, stare at the bike's rear. And then deceleration effect, so you can enable or disable that. So that's when you accelerate and the camera pulls out. The net camera as well while cornering, so like we have along that penalty, I imagine. That's why we have the camera dynamic. And effect at high speeds as well, so you get the vibrations. Not sure I want that. Or track vibration as well to the camera, and then yeah, along that penalty as well, Cam. So it enables it to rise or fall, which is set by default, which is very annoying. But now we can actually turn it off, which is very good. And then yeah, you got the distant third person. It feels like you're in the middle of an ocean here in distant third person. That's why I prefer the close third person. In first person, cockpit, and helmet cam as well. And on helmet, you can turn off the visor. So you probably still have the muffled sounds, but you won't have the visor on, which is a bit weird. This is like old school. It's like, yeah, you can see limited for the cockpit compared to the rest, and helmet as well. But yeah, lots of different options now to customize the camera to how you would like we see in other games like the F1, like we see with all the Sims as well, which is fantastic to see from Milestone. Again, they do have a roadmap for the updates they're going to be bringing in the next couple of months. I just wish they delayed the game for a couple of months, so we had this in it at the beginning. So we're always waiting it. As we go, a smooth transition and into qualifying. As less than 5 minutes remaining on the clock. As Dixon at the top with a turn 9.2 to Vedder Cameron and Navarro. Max Power through in qualified one again. Despite being top 10 in practice one, with a mid to 9.7 on medium tyres, of course, for qualifying on the softs. You can see very cool weather conditions overhead. We should be able to do at least one lap. On the circuit, we're very familiar with Silverstone. So unlike 20, as you can see, we've got the section again. The bike's go a bit wider through Chapel, onto the hanger straight as half a second back in the first sector. That is pretty normal. Second sector is normally better though. Normally pretty similar in pace, if not a tenth or two down. Go through Vale and Club, past the wing. Battling that rear slip. 7 tenths. Yeah, we lost a couple of tenths battling the rear up. And now the worst split of all, this third split with Farm, Village, the loop. I still call this a new section, even though it's been over a decade old now, but yeah, this section is normally a second down. Oh, only 4/10 down. This is good for Power, as he normally gains in this last split down the Wellington straight, heading towards Brooklands. Your prime overtaking spot in the race. Surprising they apex as well. In the left field, pays on forever. And in through Woodcote, easy flat. Or not. First, there you go, half a second back. Power up to second, despite losing the rear a couple of times. That's enough to make it through. As Dixon at the top. And then Power ahead of fellow American Cameron and Navarro, all making it through the qualifying two and achieving a weekend objective as well. So we've got Mans in fifth, just missing out. Ahead of Ramirez and Arbolino. Nicoletti with Barry and Garza. Then you've got Corsi, Della Porta, Montella, Chancher, Bulliger, and Serwin with Albert Arenas in last. Okay, minor thing as well I've noticed is that without falls, that used to not work. You only got up to like 2. We had 1 practice session. We've just had 1 qualifying session. It's actually improved after the practice sessions. So this might actually work now without falls, which is good to see. So that might be another thing added to, as you can see, a pretty good development weekend so far. As a 2-9 flat for Gardner at the top. Oh, and his K-Tim ahead of Bezeki and Gian Antonio's Grassini. Let's see what Powers Hertz NDS can do. You definitely like the straights round it. You can do better around the corner, especially in that last sector. The soft tires don't last all the sectors. So be careful of that, as through cops as well. It feels like an early apex on the bike. And it sneaks up on you, the corner. But be careful through that. Be nice and smooth. Add the brakes there. Decent first split. Half a second back, we will take that. So that's what we were in qualifying 1 as well, half a second back. And as you saw at the end, still half a second back. Bit wide through Stowe though, that's the prime overtaking spot. In Vernon Club, which I would say is an overtaking spot, but it's always very nervous through here. On the bike, it's always very easy to lose the front. Him battling in the rear through there, but just 6/10 back. Not too bad, even though the rear tire is hot. Thought that would have been a cut. As through Village into the loop. Once again, this used to be a favourite for losing the front end. And 1.3 back, which is actually pretty similar pace-wise to our qualifying 1 time. At least being consistent. Lots of rear brake use. It feels like you can be more aggressive with the brakes after the update as well. We're definitely using a lot more rear brake. That's a much smoother exit as well. Out of left field and across the line, just 3/10 back. He's on the second road. His Power. Oh, we love the final split. There we go. Best qualifying of the season, isn't it, for Power? No, he's got a pole, hasn't he, in Mugello? Second best qualifying of the season, I believe. My memory is terrible, to be honest. But those at the top, the smiling Brit at home, ahead of Baldassarre, the only rider into the 208. As well, with Gardner round out the front road. And Bezeki, Gian Antonio, and Power. The lead American as well, ahead of Roberts. Then Gura and Verge. Ben Snyder rounds out the top 10 ahead of Navarro. Fernandez down in 12th. Then we've got Shirota, Gusto. And then Vietti, Jake Dixon, Net, and Cameron. We are looking at the grid then. Hard medium for Power. Medium for Lowe's and Baldassarre. Soft hard for Gura. Oh, we're down already. Oh my god, there's a disaster in the background. Will anybody make the start? Oh my god. This is the worst start to a practice lap I've ever seen. Oh, what are they doing at the bottom? Oh, that's... let me cover up the... let me try and cover up the screen at the bottom. They should be seeing that. Oh, my God. Here's power revving it from the second row. Waiting for like 2 go out. It's gone away for 5 laps around Silverstone. And it's a decent start. As Bezzecchi's gone very wide. How easily able to get by. Starts his way up into second. Fine Homero those. Oh, he gets the battle a bit with Jeremy Gardner as well. Does power. Hold off the Australian as well. 8/10 lead for those. But here comes NTS power. NTS draft. Then NTS leads. Oh, those has gone very wide. Side by side with the Brit. Oh, he breaks early. Oh, those giving us the nudge. Giving power the nudge. Oh, it's close here on the opening lap. Gardner, Baldessari, DJ and Antonio rounds out the top 5. Head of Bezzecchi, Ben Snyder, and Ralph Fernandez with a good start up into the top 10 and 8. The other KTM. All eyes on this battle for the lead. Wow, look at that. Get away for those. Here we go, straight time again. Those defending heavily. I've gone very wide. Hiding that rear. Managed to hold on to it. Heading on to the second lap then. A legitimate second place. So with that front hard, starting to warm up a bit as well. And you get better for power, hopefully. So that's a bit of a cut. Oh, rear, stop chasing. Oh, God, the rear's horrible. What the hell? Pace of 2 corners. Looking like an oven back there. Spy those. Oh, now looking behind at Gardner. Oh, bike's unsettled. Rear is pulled down, but Gardner snuck by. He can do against the Australian there through farm. Oh boy, he's close through village. He dived down the inside through the loop. Oh, not quite. KTM holds on as Fernandez up to 7th, Roberts up to 8. There's Bezzecchi actually dropping down to 7th. Baldessari dropping down now as well. Power over Gardner. He likes this last sector. But that rear tyre is not looking good. As into the third lap, those are 208.5, 209.9. Power. Need to improve massively this second lap, or third lap now. As we approach the halfway mark of this race. The thing about Silverstone being so long, you got Only 5 laps. Very short this race. A bit wide there, but he should have a great toe from Gardner. As he blitzed by the Australian. 1.2 second lead for those. Nicely out through Stowe. There we go. Up to second. Bezzecchi's up to fourth. The DJ and Toner out of nowhere. Well, we thought Bezzecchi might be falling back at the end of the last lap. There's Gardner again, that dive down the inside through there. As Roberts up to 6th. Looks like the Raul Fernandez charge has ended. Let's try and get a good run. Oh, they gain half a second out of the loop. That's where you lose it in qualifying all that time. Oh, too tight a line through Brooklands. Got to believe in the bike a bit more than that, Power. There's someone down behind. And look at that acceleration out of Suffield as well. 9.2 for Power. For those with mid 208s, they're still way off the pace. Gardner looks back. See some clean air behind him. Almost a second now. Oh, probably should have gone hards. That rear, as you see, is not very comfortable, is it, this race? So it the middle section. Oh no, gone too deep as Power. Holds on to third though. Oh, but look at that rear with a lap and a half to go. All over the place again. To manage it a bit through farm. Definitely much more confident using the brakes around Silverstone. I'm not sure if that's a patch thing or not, but definitely feels better. As Roberts up to 4th ahead of Bezzecchi, and we've got Fernandez. Oh, Bezzecchi dropping down behind his teammate. Yeah, too. Spent Snyder around at the top 8. As we're about to head on to the final lap here in Silverstone. And Power, after great qualifying. Great first practice as well, being in the top 10. There's more crashes behind through Luffield. He wrap it up with a great podium finish as he goes sideways in front of Roberts, heading on to the final lap. And Roberts breathing down his neck. As Vietti rounds out the top 5 behind. And rule out the Italian as well. The bike is an utter handful. And Roberts with the tap. And a force the cut by Roberts there. As Fernandez now ran out the top 5. It's nicely done, Power, nice and smooth through Stoke. Oh, he holds it through Vale. Can he hold it through club as I can? Go, go. Half of that to go. Fergay's in the battle now in 8th. Queuing up behind Power. Oh no, where's the rear going? Through farm. Or through Abbey, should I say. Now through farm. Get wide through village. Oh, who's that with 8? Wild dive. Might have been Baldassare. He's disappeared. As Fergay's out in the top 5. This Power train. Just a couple corners to go to hold on. As Lowe's is going to grab a famous victory on home turf. Gardner in 2nd. Crashing behind. Acceleration as well. Towards the line. Hold the tight line through Woodcote. And hold on for point. Oh my god. Crash behind him well. There is Sam though. Smiling. Sam ahead of Remy Garner by second half. Power clinging on to podium ahead of Bezek in Vietti. As the Sky VR 46 will have another great double top 5 result. With Fernandez in 6th. Not bad after his qualifying. Level across the... Look at that. Level across the line these 4. With Joe Roberts. And then Benson, indeed, and Antonio and Virgo not further behind as well. Then Baldassare, Fernandez. Bit of a gap to Arbolino, Agura and Berliger. As looking further down, Surin rounding out the top 20 has Ramirez, Manzi, Montella and Cameron. Do not finish. In the championship, Gardner leads the way now by a point ahead of Bezecchi. Who would have thought that after like 6 races when Bezecchi had like a 60-point lead? And we've got Lowe's, Fernandez powering to the top 5 with another podium ahead of Dijan Antonio. Then Roberts, Ben Snyder, Vietti ahead of Fernandez, Baldassare ahead of Dixon, Fergay ahead of Navarro, Arbolino ahead of Manzi as well. And then in the team championship, Red Bull lead the way by 37 points now ahead of Sky Racing Team VR46. Then it's Mark VDS, Trent Sprinter, Grissini, Hertz, NTS up to 6th ahead of MV Augusta and SAG. And then Atara Trans, Honda Team Asia, Icamori Intact, Aspar, Pond, Speed Up, American Racing, and NTS.
Making the podium is always a positive result, but it's also true this rider could have gone further today. It's definitely a result, though, which bodes well for future races.
There we go. Outstanding weekend performance round Silverstone. Smashed the qualifying objective, smashed the race objective. He must be happy about that, as he gets some credits as well. There's 20 weeks as well remaining. I didn't see weekend research past everything. If only we did the long lap penalty in the lap by that, where you do 3 consecutive laps ahead of a certain time. We should concentrate on that. As headquarters, a week of airment. So we will end that actually. Oh, who do we get? Who's this? Nishimura. Not sure we need you, mate. Not sure we need you. Personal manager. 7 offers. Oh, hang on. Hello. MotoGP is interested. Oh. Oh, hello. Do we? It's a low chance. It's a low chance, but we've got a punt for a slot, don't we? So, see, this is why you leave behind the contract searches as well. Having of new teams again with MotoGP, KTM Hertz. We can continue with Hertz maybe. Ducati Lenovo or My World Aprilia. Okay. We make KTM Hertz one. So, you know, you've got the continuity. And negotiate with you. Oh, God, look at that reputation required. Nowhere near at the moment. But then search factory teams. We've got a MotoGP offer maybe on the table. So, we got a Avintia. 2 different Avintias. And we've got the Honda Castrol as well. So do they still put up the LCR? They do. What the hell? Alright. Honda Castrol. This is interesting. Ducati, Grissini, and Honda to choose from. Oh. What do we go for? They're all very even as well. Well, let's be beside Mark, shall we? Let's try and do that. I'm not sure about Grassini. Let's think of the timeline here as well. Not sure about Grassini. Of course, VR46 off the table. Not sure about Avintia. Yeah, let's put LCR Honda there then as well. Oh, God. Right, pal, you got some winning to do, son. We're going to get those seats. The plan was to stay in Moto 2. But if we're getting proposals like this, so we've already got one proposal, or two proposals, as you can see from Pons and from Grassini. Oh, this is advanced to next week. So that's the end of the riders market. That's the development as well of the electronics. Oh, we could develop the electronics again. What's that? So better wheelie control, engine brake increase, better wheelie control. Oh, I don't know. Oh my god, no, we can develop anything for the engine as well. Max torque increase, fuel consumption reduction, torque increase. That's interesting, actually. Because you see, we have rubbish out the corners against our opponents. Nothing for the big frame upgrade, though. Oh, we're not far away from the rear string arm design. Oh, I don't know what to develop. Let me know down below. What should we develop? Where should we go for next season as well? Before we head to the Gran Premio de Aragon for the third round in Spain of the season. With a new electronics development, having better wheelie control will be very important for Aragon as well, especially in that second sector. With the roller coaster downhill and the wall as well to avoid. But, wow, so thanks for watching. What a fantastic episode. And there you go. The legitimate podium. I think the first legitimate podium of the season. As if we look back as well, I haven't actually shown off the standings for the other series. I haven't been very good at that. So MotoGP is Quarto Vinales. Mir a distant third ahead of Miller. In Morbidelli, Bagnaia wins. Dark ahead of Marquez. And Jorge Martin round at the top 10 ahead of Espargo, Rossi, Pole, Takagami, Oliveira ahead of Basciani, Binder and Marquez as Marini, Salvadori, Petrucci and Ike let the score points. Oh, hang on. We can look at Team Championship as well. So yeah, Yamaha smashing things. Ahead of Suzuki, Ducati, Petronas Yamaha, Premac, Honda, Priya Grassini, LCR Honda, KTM, Avintia, LCR Honda Castrol, Sky VR46, and Tech 3. I'm surprised they didn't get an offer from Tech 3. Oh yeah, we've done Moto 2 Team Championship. Here we go, Moto 3 as well. Red Bull KTM IO leading the way by a massive amount ahead of... Both riders could be second in the Team Championship by themselves. That's ridiculous. It's just like real life, actually, I think, isn't it? These four Costa. Then we've got Leopard. Oh no. Scroll up. Oh no, they're only 113 points back. So the small lead, isn't it? Very small lead. So we're trying to Sprinter in second. Then Grassini, Aspar, Green Power. Leopard ahead of Snikers. Think 58. Avintia. Red Bull KTM Tech 3. Bracel. Max Racing. OEE. And Honda Team Asia. It's in the Riders' Championship. Nazia leads the way ahead of teammate Da Costa by 22 points. Rodrigo in the battle. McPhee and Binder, the veterans. In Tuba, Garcia Mino, Suzuki, and Alcoba around at the top 10 ahead of Artigas, Rivera, Foggia, Antonelli, Sasaki, Yamanaka, Honshu, Pasquier, Fedon as well. Good draw from Lorenzo. And Adrian Fernandez, the younger brother of Raul Fernandez. Kofler with the final point. Fenati not on the scoreboard. Only 21 riders score points. Fenati, Sadat, Napa, Atai, Cooney, Andy as well, and Rossi. And, oh yeah, constructors as well. I forgot to look at that. So Yamaha leading the way, comfortably ahead of Suzuki, Ducati, Honda, Aprilia, and KTM. Wow. That was a bit of a surprising championship as well in that Moto 3. Seeing some of those names, not many points, and yeah, KTM running away with it. But thanks for watching. We'll see if we can run away. Now gone next time.